Hello, everybody. Welcome to Baby Christian Ministries. I know what you're thinking. The very first question is, Bob, what is Baby Christian Ministries? Well, let me tell you. My pastor is a man with a sense of humor. And the newly saved and those that have not studied the Bible very much yet, he calls us baby Christians. He doesn't mean it in a mean way, just a way to describe us. We're baby Christians. We're just getting started in this journey that's called Christianity. And what I'm planning on doing here is, I don't know if you'd call it a Bible study or a devotional or just me talking to the camera for a little bit and then you chiming in down in the comments. But whatever it is we're going to do here, excuse me, we're going to do it together. I'm going to read some out of the Bible. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. And hopefully, I can get some of you to leave your thoughts down below in the comments as well. And together, we can learn more about this wonderful book called the Bible. And we can do it together. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why now, Bob? You got saved back in March. You've been basically a good guy your whole life. You've called yourself a Christian your entire life, but you really just got saved back in March of this year. Why are you doing this now? Well, to be honest with you, I had this thought a couple of months ago. I had this thought a couple of months ago about why, what I should be doing to further the cause of Christ. And to be honest with you, I felt I didn't know enough. I still feel I don't know enough. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm just an old dumb truck driver that has been struggling his way through the Bible. But what got me started on this and got me to really decide to go ahead and do this is last Sunday evening in church, we had a missionary visiting us from Cambodia. I don't know why I suddenly have the coughs. And I don't know if you know much about missionaries, but apparently I don't either, really. I know they go to other countries and they plant churches and they win people to Christ. And then after they've been there a while, they come home and they report to the churches that support them, and then they go back and do it again. That's about all I know, but we had a visiting missionary. We had a visiting missionary from Cambodia, and he was telling us a story about this lady that he talked to, and it was out in a remote village, and he talked to her, and she got one to Jesus. And she immediately went out and started talking to her neighbors. And that kind of shamed me a little bit because she didn't even have a Bible in her own language that she could read yet. All she knew about Jesus is what the missionary had told her. And she immediately went out and started winning people, trying to talk to her neighbors, telling them what she had learned. So, if she can do that, I can do this. And so can you. As children of God, we've got to talk to people. We've got to spread the gospel. I feel it's one of our top priorities. Especially those people that God puts in our path. Wouldn't it be a shame if somebody ended up dying, not knowing Jesus, and ended up going to hell because we didn't have the courage to talk to somebody that God had put in our path to talk to? That would be a real shame both for them and for us. So let's work together and see if we can't figure a few things out with this Bible. And as far as figuring out, I don't know. Like I said, let's just jump into this thing and see what we can come up with. I'm going to start today. I have my trusty magnifying glass with a light on it so I can actually read the Bible, because my eyes aren't nearly what they used to be. But today I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 22, verse 34. And I read from the King James Version. That's all we use at our church. But if you'd like to follow along, please do so. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together, the he there being Jesus. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. This seems like a fairly easy thing to do. Love the Lord. I mean, how hard can it be? He sent his son down, Jesus, died for us on the cross, stands between us and our sins like they weren't even there. We get to be saved. We get to go to heaven. What's not to love about that? I know it's a lot harder than it sounds. We all have our days when things aren't going great. And it's really, really hard sometimes. What I try to do is first thing in the morning, and I'll get more into my testimony in later videos. But first thing in the morning when I get up, I thank the Lord for giving me another day. Because believe me when I tell you, me getting another day is a really big deal in my life. And I'm very thankful for it. And I thank the Lord for it every day. And as I move through the day, I try to keep in my mind, as I run into obstacles and annoyances, because we all have those things that we run into during the day that annoy us, I try to keep right square in front of my mind that I'm saved. I know how this ends. When I die, I'm going to go to heaven. And that's great news. And if we keep that in the front of our mind in everything we do, then hopefully that lets our day go a little better. I apologize for the heavy shadows over here. I've got some more lights coming, but right now I wanted to get this started. So we're making do with what I've got. Reading on in verse 39. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Loving thy neighbor as thyself. That, again, it sounds really easy, but it also sounds really hard, depending on which view you look at. You know, the little old lady that lives over there, that brings over cookies once in a while, she's really easy to love. But the neighbor over there that likes to cut his grass on Saturday morning, just as the sun's coming up, sometimes not so easy to love. How about the guy across the street with different political views than yours? Or how about the lost soul on down the street that points and laughs every time you pull out of your driveway to go to church or go do something else? It can get really tough. But like I said, as long as we keep in the front of our mind that we are saved and we're going to go to heaven when we die, hopefully that makes the day go a whole lot easier. And as it says here right at the end, on these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. What I think it's trying to tell us there is that if we will love God, genuinely love God, and genuinely love other people, that everything else will fall into place. And as we work our way through more of these little devotionals, or whatever you want to call them, I think we'll be able to reference back to this very first one and see that loving God and loving your neighbors is at the very center of Christianity. And if you can accomplish those two things, everything else will be much easier. I hope that sort of makes sense to you. If it doesn't, that's okay. Leave me a comment down below. If you'd like to support this channel, the best way you can do that right now is to click the like button down below. There's a red subscribe button. If you click on that, a little bell will pop up next to it. Click on that, you'll get notified when I upload. I'm planning on trying to do this 3 or 4 times a week from this point forward. We'll see how it goes. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the future. Welcome to Baby Christian Ministries. Let's have fun with this, shall we? Have a great day, everyone. God bless you.